talk about how to create a bootable installer for macOS software version Catalina 10.15.1. And to do this, I'm going to use the directions in this Apple support article. So what I did was I clicked on Little Apple, About This Mac, and then I went to the software update link, and I downloaded Mojave, and we can see that in my applications folder. So that's the first thing I want to check, is make sure I got the operating system in the applications folder. In this case, the size is 8.14 gigabytes. That's the size I want. The next thing is I need a USB drive, and it needs to be pretty big. So this one is 32 gigabytes. And I'm going to do Command Tab over to my disk utility, and we can see it here. And I've gone ahead and formatted it into macOS Extended Journal. I've also two-finger clicked and renamed it B, so the volume name is B. And one thing we got to do with this command is replace my volume with the name. So you can triple click, do a Command C of this command, open up terminal. In my case, I got it already open, and I went ahead and I pasted it in with Command V, and I deleted the my volume line, and I replaced it with B because that's the name of my volume. So now I press enter. Type in my password. This is the one I use to log into my computer. And this assumes that you're doing this on a computer where you have administrative access. So I'm going to go ahead and press Y and then enter. So it's going to format the disk and then start creating the bootable OS. And this is great if you're in a situation where you, I'm going to allow this, where you want to install macOS Mojave very quickly on a client computer, so you don't have to move it over the network. So that's typically my use case for the bootable USB. So we can see it's erased the data. Now it's copying the disk, and it might take this a little while because it's an 8 gigabyte file it's got to write. So we'll just hang out, drink some coffee. Another thing that's important to notice that if your computer is already on macOS Catalina, you'll need to, in most cases, you'll need to find another computer that's on the previous operating system version in order to be able to download Catalina. The reason I was able to do it from this computer is because it was on a beta channel, which is more fun to know information, but I had to take it off the beta channel for it to start working again. Oh, 10%. 20%. %. Getting excited. %. So once this is done, I can, on the computer, I want to boot to the micro USB the USB, and then install Catalina. I'll hold Option and press Power. And then once it boots, it will give me the option to install macOS Mojave. And that assumes that on that client you've done a couple things. Before that, I would do hold Command and then the key R. Go ahead and boot into the recovery partition, and then delete the primary hard drive. %, almost there. %, and counting. %. So once this is done, I'll put it on a copy of the application on a flash drive too that's not bootable, and I'll just drag and drop it from the application folder, and that way I can just delete it off my hard drive because it is such a big file. I don't want it to take up all my space. %. And we can see I just plugged in an external hard drive. One of the kind of comical bugs in this new OS is that the macOS HD icon will take on the image of something else, and in this case it's the Firefox logo. Almost done. Oop, there we go. Making disk bootable, copy and boot files, ... Install media now available. All right. And then if we tab back over into disk utility, we can see it's right here, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and eject that. Plug it into my client computer. And then I can go ahead and get, oh, I didn't eject it properly. Oops. Hopefully it's still good. That's something you want to do. That's it. That's how you make the bootable installer, and that's all for this tutorial. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching.